everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome to TYT Community once again. And we are here with, of course, my esteemed co-host, Jeff Waldorf, Brian, aka Piratefish, and Sean Fitzgerald. And I am your host, Rhiannon Avaneen. Tonight we are going to talk about the Jim Carrey video that is going viral over the internet and the brilliant insight into his video, and of course the frenzy that Fox is having right now. Heads are exploding like crazy because of this video, and they have turned it on Jim Carrey with an onslaught of insults and hatred. And let's go to video.
He is probably the most pathetic tool on the face of the earth, and I hope his career is dead, and I hope he ends up sleeping in a car the way his life began. This video only made me want to go out and buy a gun. He thinks this is biting satire, going after rural America and a dead man. Jim Carrey has killed more people than all the rifles combined. He's a dirty, stinking coward. He's a moral coward. He did a video attacking rural America. He's too worried about his career. He's such a pathetic, sad little freak. He's a gibbering mess. He's a modern bigot. He's a modern bigot.
Can you tell us how you really feel about him?
He's a bottomless pit of insecurity, and the desire for acceptance is why he's doing this, because he knows in his heart that he's a fraud.
All right. I'm just gonna stop it there because I'm just having too much fun laughing at Greg Gutfeld. This is the guy who's supposed to be a comedian, right? And this guy is a tool calling somebody else a tool. Could it get any more of pot calling the kettle black?
Oh, it's so hilarious, the fit that they're throwing. They're just livid. It's so hilarious.
My God.
And they can't even give a good counter argument or make any good points. They're just pissed off because it's funny, it's truthful, it's insightful, it's creative. I mean, they hate it because it's so good.
No, apparently Jim Carrey has killed more people than all the assault rifles. Really? Was Jim Carrey, did Jim Carrey kill 26 children in Newtown, Connecticut? Did Jim Carrey kill people in Virginia Tech? Did Jim Carrey kill people in Columbine? Did Jim Carrey... seriously?
All they have is reactionary hyperbole against him. It's like Obama. It's like communist, Nazi, Muslim terrorist.
Well, I got particular amusement out of offensive amusement. I'm offended. I was offended by this. But there's that one part in that clip that you did play where you see he goes to say he's Canadian, but he stops. He's and then I can't remember what he calls him there, but he's about to call him a Canadian. But there's something beyond the clip you played. There is a spot where somebody does go off and start going, oh, well, he's a Canadian, as if he's bad because he's a Canadian.
The Liberal says he's a Canadian.
Yeah. Bob Bechtel is as much of a liberal as I'm a supermodel. Let's just put that in perspective right now.
But you get what I mean. Their resident liberal is the one who said he was a Canadian. But yeah. I don't know why people freak out over what celebrities do. Look, I'm not like, I don't agree with Jim Carrey on gun control, but I'm not like offended by his video. He's a comedian. He did a comedic music video. It made fun of Charleston Heston, who's an old man who died.
He's dead.
And as far as, even though they have forgotten, there is a whole genre of comedy that is known as political comedy. It's directly tied to politics, and it's intended to be what it is.
I think they're freaked out. I think they're freaked out, though, that someone like Jim Carrey is actually speaking out about these issues and doing it in such a fantastically lovable and clever, witty way. I mean, he can really win over people with this video. It made me like him more. I mean, I've liked Jim Carrey before, but this really it earned a lot of respect, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
I think they freak out when, I mean, he has a huge following. There are a lot of people that really love Jim Carrey, so it freaks them out when celebrities speak out like this.
Well, here's kind of the funny thing, okay, is that Jim Carrey is partly famous because he's done a lot of movies. One of the movies of which he talked out his ass, if you guys remember. He talked with his butt, right? But that was a role.
That was one of those Ace Ventura movies, I think.
Yeah, in Ace Ventura, he talked out his ass. But Fox News, they're not acting, and they're still, that's all they do is talk out their ass. So I just love being able to point that out, and it just going on with Greg Gutfeld. He was just livid, absolutely pissed, and calling him everything that he could actually say on TV, and it's just hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Like I said, the Fox overreacts to so much, like so many ridiculous things. Like I don't know why people care about what celebrities do. I never like wake up and I'm like, oh, what does Jim Carrey think? Let alone am I gonna go on a crazy tirade of like how Jim Carrey should be in a ditch or sleep in a car or be homeless, or how this is gonna end his career. I mean,
that's right. He was pretty vicious about it. Like, he didn't just want Carrey to shut up. He wants him hurt. He wants to bring down the elbow from the sky on him for daring to badmouth the great Charlton Heston.
No. Here's the thing, though, with Fox News and people in Hollywood, they're always targeting the Hollywood liberals, right? And that's kind of what they're characterizing Jim Carrey as. He's the Hollywood liberal. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a Canadian. Why is he getting involved in American politics? He should stay out of it. He's pathetic. You know, they're saying all of these things because they want to demonize the Hollywood liberal because it's their favorite thing to go back to. And it's funny because, you know, they're always like, well, these Hollywood actors, they don't know what they're talking about. But when it's a Hollywood actor on their side, they're a demigod. They elected him president, for God's sakes, Ronald Reagan. But and I also want to go to Charlton Heston. I'm pretty sure Charlton Heston would be okay with background checks at least. Back when the NRA was actually sane, and we're actually pushing for smart gun control measures.
I wouldn't be too sure about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too sure.
Heston was looking pretty senile to me. I don't think he was. I don't think he was.
No, but during his career as part of the head of the NRA, when the NRA was a much more sane organization that actually believed in a certain measure of gun control while also protecting gun rights. Under LaPierre, they've gone way to the right.
Yeah, but I didn't think Heston didn't really get involved with the NRA until like the 80s, which is when the NRA started going right wing.
I mean, the thing I want to bring up about Fox and like them getting mad at the Hollywood liberal is that there's another group that I agree with that gets mad at the Hollywood liberal, but they do it the right way, and that's South Park. Like, I read a great quote from either Matt Stone or Trey Parker, excuse me for not knowing exactly which one, and they said the reason we make fun of people in Hollywood is because most people in Hollywood are divorced, like they mess around with drugs, they sleep around, and they think that they could tell people in Middle America how to run their lives better than people in Middle America can. So that's how you. But I'm saying that's how you do it. You don't talk about how you want to throw this guy in a ditch or anything like that. You just point out, look, that he's a celebrity, he's a comedian, he does comedy, he's great at comedy, right? But he's not like I disagree with this political point. You don't have to flip out and personally attack Jim Carrey and pretend like Jim Carrey hasn't been a huge success. Because he's like, Jim Carrey's done after this and all that nonsense. Jim Carrey's not done. He's a multi-millionaire. Like, he's good. He made a song. It's pretty funny. You could disagree with it, but there's no reason to want to kill the guy.
I know what you're talking about with Parker and Stone there too. I think I read either the same or similar article where they talk about their big beef is that these Hollywood people think that they have a right to tell the nation what's going on because they read a newspaper. You know,
Right.
they read a newspaper and suddenly they're authorities on political issues.
But that's how you
No,
go after them.
Well, at the same time, we also shouldn't assume that they don't have a legitimate political voice out there. We have Ashley Judd, who's running for Senate. We have
no, Ashley Judd is
running.
out. Actually, she's not run. She's not
Bill
running.
Clinton pushed her out.
oh, but that's disappointing. But you have a lot of Hollywood faces out there that are well informed, well educated, that are involved, that know what they're talking about. So
I think all the conservative Hollywood people, all the liberal Hollywood people, they're actors. I don't consider any of them well informed.
I disagree thoroughly. I think that they're human beings like everyone else, and that they found their own niche in the world. But there are a lot of them who have other interests. I mean, just Brad Pitt.
That's what I said. They're human beings. 90% of them are not politically informed.
And people like Kim Kardashian aren't even 90% human.
Well, I mean, Kim Kardashian.
Silicone, yeah.
I've never just shrugged off celebrities and just people in general based on the fact that they're celebrities. I think that that's a mistake, because these people, they've done a lot of good for a lot of people, some of them. And, they do a lot of charity work. They do a lot. For instance, Leonardo DiCaprio is taking a long hiatus away from acting just so that he can focus entirely on charity work. And no, I don't think he's doing that just to appeal to public opinion. I think he's doing it because he's a humanitarian and he actually gives a shit.
But that's different from politics.
That's different, yeah.
That's different from politics, though.
I'm not saying
but it's still political. He's still political. No, it's still political because it's about life. Politics is.
I volunteer my time at a couple of places, and there's nothing political about it at all. It's got nothing to do with my ideologies. It just has to do. I want to help people.
I was a volunteer counselor at 15. It had nothing to do with political views.
But I mean, come on. We all watch The Colbert Report. We all watch The Daily Show. We all watch Bill Maher. We've all seen a lot of...
Well, those are political comedians to me.
No, but I'm not talking about the hosts of those shows. I'm talking about also the people and the guests that come on those shows. I've seen dozens of celebrities that just because they're actors or... I mean, Kim Kardashian is only a celebrity because she's famous. She's famous for being famous. But there are actual people out there who have genuine talent, who are genuinely intelligent, who are genuinely informed, who are genuinely educated. I mean, people like, you wouldn't expect it, but Robin Williams is very political. He gets out there with a lot of movements on the down low, but he's also an actor. He's also a comedian, but he also has an education. He also stays very well informed and very much involved. Brad Pitt, who's done a lot of work overseas and in this country, who is very boisterous about the issues here, there, and everywhere. People like Ben Affleck, people like.
But again, there's nothing to say that they're not out there. There are some of them, and you can name more of them too. Yeah. But like Sean was saying, they're a small portion of the Hollywood population.
It's a small portion of the human population. But I would say that it's probably about the same ratio.
Yeah. But there's a difference between someone like a Leonardo DiCaprio who's taking a hiatus so he can go and volunteer, and someone like, say, a Frank Zappa or a Dee Snider who get up in front of Congress and talk about censorship and the music industry and pirating and that kind of stuff. Those are political issues, whereas something that a lot of these guys do, if they go to help aid things, that's not really political.
My overall point wasn't about like whether celebrities try and be involved in politics or not. What I was saying was, what I was trying to bring up when I was quoting the South Park quote was, the reason they dig into celebrities is just because they're celebrities and they want to be involved. Doesn't make them any better than somebody who's just raising his kids in like North Dakota or whatever. Like, my point was, if you're going to fight back against, like, Jim Carrey, like, that's how I would do it. I wouldn't go and, like, you know, attack him personally and be like, did you know he's Canadian?
Well,
Like,
right. I'm just saying my only point is that there are a lot of celebrities out there, like there are a lot of people out there who are talented, informed, educated, politically insightful, and in my opinion, all humanitarian issues are at their root political, so I'm not going to go into that right now, but I just think it's a mistake to, I think it's a mistake to just brush celebrities off and say, well, they're just celebrities. They don't have any real say or any significant voice in the matter, so why worry about what their opinions are?
I think their biggest usefulness when it comes to things like that is marketing. That's where they're more useful.
Getting attention.
Exactly. Because they have the face, they get recognized, and if they pick a cause or if they join a cause, it's going to make people. It's kind of the same way why Magic Johnson sells Hanes underwear. It's not because guys are watching the ad and going, oh, look, that's good underwear because Johnson wears it. No, it's marketed. He's
no. I think it was Michael Jordan.
Oh, sorry. That is who I did mean to say. Sorry, Michael Jordan.
But
it's Michael Jordan who's doing it because not because the guys are watching it. He's used as a marketing tool for women, so that they'll go, oh, look, a sports figure uses these. I buy underwear for my husband. I should probably buy these underwear.
But
it's got nothing to do with what underwear he wears or not. They don't really care.
No, or we're getting off into the weeds a little bit. So I want to bring it back because
don't we tend to do that quite often?
Yeah. I kind of want to bring it back to because Jim Carrey wasn't just going to let that criticism go. He's ongoing feud with Fox News, and he actually released a press release. And you guys are going to love this. I'm going to read this press release. It says, quote, "Since I released my Cold Dead Hand video on Funny or Die this week, I have watched Fox News, FUX, rant, rave, bare its fangs, and viciously slander me because of my stand against large magazines and assault rifles. I would take them to task legally if I felt they were worth my time or that anyone with a brain in their head could actually fall for such irresponsible buffoonery. That would gain them far too much attention, which is all they really care about." And he continues, "I'll just say this. In my opinion, Fox News is a last resort for kinda, sorta, almost journalists whose options have been severely limited by their extreme and intolerant views. A media colostomy bag that has begun to burst at the seams and should be emptied before it becomes a public health issue." I mean, he's bringing down the elbow on Fox News, and I love this. But he ends the letter or the press release like this: "I sincerely believe that in time, good people will lose patience with the petty and poisonous behavior of these bullies, and Fox News will be remembered as nothing more than a giant culture fart that no amount of garlic could cure. I wish them all the luck that accompanies such malevolence." That is the best press release I think that I have read.
You see, he's not just a comedian. He's not just a comedian. He has a dynamic, a fiery wit that is just, it's sharp as an axe. It's sharp as a razor blade. He can just pick up on something like that, and it shows in his video as well, which is very multi-layered. I mean, did you notice that behind him in the background of his little band was Gandhi, Lincoln, and John Lennon, Gandhi,
yep.
And Lincoln.
Yeah, I thought when you showed us the clip, I thought you were going to show us the clip of
the video,
the actual clip that he did, because it is kind of fun if you haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, it's totally a fun clip, and it's a fun song, and yeah, it's definitely satire, and if you feel offended, oh well. And that's all right, because we're allowed to have, I thought this was America. We're allowed to have our free speech.
So many confuse freedom of speech with the freedom to not be offended, and it's like...
You don't have a right not to be offended.
That's right. Nobody has a right not to be offended.
And that's right. And you know, and I'm totally in support of what Jim Carrey says and did in the video. And I happen to agree with him on, you know, assault weapons and large magazines. I don't see any point to them. You guys just can disagree. I know, Sean, you do. But that's a different issue.
Never mind.
Yeah, like I said, that's a different issue.
What do you got on tonight there, Sean? What is
it says guns don't kill people. People with mustaches kill people.
People with mustaches.
Well, that's why I got a goatee. I went more to the mustache because I don't kill people, so I went all the way down.
Jim Carrey looks pretty cute in a mustache too, I have to admit.
Oh,
But,
you know, it's only if you have that small mustache. You know what I mean? That you're the one that kills people.
And you know what they were
I think
most
that's what you were
upset
going
by.
for.
You know that they were most viscerally upset by in that video, the remarks about their itty bitty penises and the Charlton Heston improv playing with his gun, trying to get it off.
And not only that, but they were, you know, making fun of people that lived in the country and lived in the South. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you're threatening their culture and their masculinity.
It's a very good point, and it's, come on, guys, it's, you know, it's humor. Some humor you're not going to like. Deal with it.
And
it's America.
And you can disagree without going insane. And you can think it's funny and disagree. I see things that I disagree with that are funny all the time. It's not a big deal. Like, people always, I don't know why people flip out over these things. But then again, it's Fox News and they're not really people.
Well, they are, I'm going to call them serial freakout artists. That's what they do. They, like, when can you not turn on Fox News and see somebody freaking out over something, whether it be a Benghazi or, you know, immigration? You know what I mean? Every time you turn on Fox News, there's some sort of crisis going on. You got that alert ticker in the bottom, you know, in the bottom of the screen.
Always on.
Where was the fair and balanced in that coverage of the video? Because they sure well, but even his wasn't anything great. I mean, he wasn't very supportive of him, really. So I mean, the idea is where was the counterpoint where they tried to pick out what points he might have had?
Well,
that would be the fair and balanced.
Let's be fair. It was the 5, which is not one of their straight news shows. I'm sure their straight news shows, yes. They were like, you know, on one hand, Jim Carrey's a comedian, and on the other hand, but
he's
that was their yeah.
Oh, but Fox's whole slogan of fair and balanced, we report, you decide, that whole thing, it's an ironic joke. I mean, you couldn't be more ironic than calling Fox fair and balanced. So I think it is about time we should round this out and get to final thoughts. And I want to start with Brian. What are your final thoughts on the Jim Carrey video and Fox's lovely reaction?
Jim Carrey for the win. Fox fail.
All right. Sean, what are your final thoughts?
I mean, like I said, Jim Carrey's a comedian. He does comedy, so I don't know why people freak out, but then again, it's Fox News. So congratulations, Jim Carrey. When you back gun control, I back you over Fox.
Yes, that's definitely saying something. Jeff, what are your final thoughts on this whole thing?
I think this is hilarious. Fox News for the overreaction. The overreactions are absolutely epic. So if you want to have a laugh, go and watch that video again because it's great. We'll provide a link for it. And you know, the video from Jim Carrey, absolutely great. I don't see anything wrong with it. I do agree with the message, but even if you don't agree with the message, you can ought to understand that it is comedy. Yes, it's political comedy, and you're not going to agree with everything that anybody says. But this is America. You don't have to watch it. Turn off the TV. But don't go flip out on Fox News calling somebody a pathetic tool if you yourself are also a pathetic tool.
Yes, excellent. I agree. Wonderfully put. And I just want to say thank you, Jim Carrey, for making this video. I think it is one of your most brilliant pieces, even though it's one of your shortest. And I've watched it at least a half a dozen times now, and it's one of my favorite videos, and I'm going to save it forever and show it to my children when they're old enough to understand the hilarity of it. And I think Fox's reaction adds to the hilariousness of this video, and I think it will be, ironically, I think that it will be remembered even more because of Fox's reaction. I think that Fox has given it more attention than maybe it otherwise would have gotten if they would have just shut up and swallowed it and not freaked out the way that they always do about everything that is somehow against them or they perceive that is against them. But now Jim Carrey is Fox News's public enemy number one, which means that he has now been raised in several notches on my list of favorite celebrities, and he has earned a great deal of my respect. And I hope that he will continue to be boisterous on this issue and other issues that he deems important to talk about. And that is it for this edition of TYT Community, and thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. Jim Carrey, if you ever are watching, please contact us and we will have you on our show in an instant. And we will see you again later, and thank you very much, TYT Army. We want to make sure that you keep track of all of our panels. Sean, where can we find you?
You find me at IamSean90 and youtube.com/IamSean90.
And Brian, where can we find you?
On YouTube, you'd find me at Piratefish1, and you'd find anything you need from there.
And of course, track my co-host Jeff. Where can we find you?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Jeff's Politics, and you can also watch my channel. It is youtube.com/JC Waldorf. It's called Another Progressive Show. Check it out.
And you can always find me at my channel, The Lady Rhiannon, at youtube.com/LadyRhiannon824, and Twitter at LadyRhiannon824, Facebook.com/LadyRhiannon824, and my blog where it all started, LadyRhiannon824.blogspot.com. Thank you very much. Subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.